Few people realize that the legendary Man of Steel started out as a skinny, insecure kid full of doubts. Bill Grant was born on June 20th, 1946, in Philadelphia, and from a young age he faced the weight of being underestimated for his small, fragile frame. At school, he was constantly teased. Even his own sisters could beat him in arm wrestling games. But from that weakness came the spark that would change everything. The burning desire to prove he could be stronger than any obstacle in his way. At just 9 years old, driven by pure childhood determination, Bill picked up what would become his very first dumbbell, an improvised bar at home. There was no gym, no trainer, no fancy equipment, just curiosity and the will to transform his body. Right there, in that makeshift setup, began one of the most inspiring journeys in the history of bodybuilding. As time went on, that playful curiosity turned into a daily routine. Bill trained wherever he could, in his bedroom, in the garage, even in friends' backyards. When he was 12, a friend introduced him to the real world of weight training. And that first backyard workout with crude, homemade weights completely changed his life. By 14, he finally managed to join his local YMCA, a dim old basement with a few rusty machines. But to Bill, it was paradise. He would later describe it as a magical place, a space where strength was built alongside confidence. There, he learned that true power doesn't come from modern machines, but from discipline and the will to improve, rep by rep. While other kids were dreaming about football or running in the park, Bill spent hours lifting weights between damp, dusty walls. It was a simple environment, but it forged something unshakable in him. A deep love for bodybuilding and a belief that relentless effort can reshape even the most unlikely body. After years of being underestimated, Bill Grant decided he'd never again be the weak kid from school. Determined to rewrite his story, he committed to training with focus and consistency, and soon, the results spoke for themselves. In just 4 years, Bill packed on over 45 pounds, around 20 kilos, of muscle. The transformation was striking. The once scrawny kid now had a defined, powerful physique, bursting with energy and confidence. It was as if every workout was his silent shout to the world, "I can do this." Then came his first big chance to test that transformation. Still a teenager, Bill signed up for the Mr. High School New Jersey contest. Under the bright stage lights, surrounded by the crowd, he placed 5th. But more important than any trophy was what he felt up there. That mix of recognition, pride, and proof that hard work really pays off. That moment lit a fire in him, the desire to compete, to push his limits, and to chase the impossible. Like any passionate young man, Bill needed inspiration. He found it in the glossy pages of bodybuilding magazines, studying legends like Sergio Oliva and Reg Park. They were his heroes, icons of strength and symmetry who fueled his motivation whenever fatigue hit. Every photo, every story about them reignited his dream to one day stand among them, not for fame, but for respect. And that persistence kept him growing, physically and mentally. That 5th place finish in New Jersey was just the beginning of a journey that would turn Bill Grant into one of the most respected names in bodybuilding. He was no longer fighting the bullies at school. He was now battling his own limits. After years of dedication and relentless training, Bill finally stepped onto the professional stage. In 1968, he made his official debut at Mr. USA, finishing in a solid 6th place, and later that year competed at Mr. America, taking 17th. To some, those results might have seemed modest, but to Bill, they were a wake-up call. He realized talent alone wasn't enough. He had to raise his game, study his body, master his mind, and take discipline to the extreme. In the years that followed, that determination began to pay off. Bill honed his technique, perfected every pose, and developed a stage presence that demanded attention. With each new contest, he climbed higher, until, in 1972, he reached the top. That year, Bill Grant was crowned Mr. America, forever etching his name among the greats. He also won the prestigious Mr. World title that same year, proving to everyone that the kid from Philadelphia had become a true champion. But Bill didn't stop there. In 1973 and 1974, he returned to the stage and solidified his dominance, once again taking home the Mr. World and Mr. International titles. victories that placed him shoulder to shoulder with legends like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Frank Zane, and Serge Nubret, competing as an equal in what would later be remembered as bodybuilding's most iconic period, the Golden Era. Competing at Mr. Olympia between 1976 and 1984 was the high point of Bill's journey. He walked onto the stage of the most prestigious bodybuilding event in the world with the same fire he'd had back when he trained in that dark basement. Each competition was another chance to prove, not to others, but to himself, that hard work and persistence really do pay off. Over a career that spanned more than 20 years, Bill racked up 44 professional appearances, an incredible feat, even by the standards of that era. Very few athletes managed to maintain that level of consistency, dedication, and pure love for the sport for so long. Every contest, every prep, and every challenge shaped him, not just as an athlete, but as a symbol of resilience and passion. In the 1970s, Gold's Gym in Venice was the birthplace of bodybuilding's golden era. That's where Bill became one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's first training partners, sharing the same iron floor with legends like Franco Columbu and Frank Zane. While many guys were chasing bigger muscles, Bill stood out for his intelligence and discipline in training. He believed the secret wasn't spending all day in the gym. It was about training with purpose, intensity, and complete focus. His motto was simple but powerful: less is more. Instead of long, drawn-out sessions, Bill preferred short, focused, high-intensity workouts where every rep counted. He often pointed out that many athletes burned themselves out with too much volume, but few knew how to use their time and energy efficiently. For him, the body needed both stimulation and recovery, and that balance was the real secret to quality growth. One of the methods that defined his style was the constant use of supersets, training opposing muscle groups, like chest and back, one right after the other with no rest in between. This approach kept the pace high, boosted muscle pumps, and saved time. Bill said that beyond the physical benefits, this kind of training kept his mind sharp and his focus locked in through every session. His prep routine for the Mr. America contest became famous among athletes at the time. His weekly split looked like this: Monday, chest, back, and shoulders; Tuesday, arms and legs; Wednesday, rest; Thursday and Friday, repeat the first 2 days; Saturday and Sunday, complete rest. It was simple but effective, combining intensity with smart recovery periods, something many bodybuilders wouldn't fully appreciate until decades later. Bill also believed that focus and technique mattered more than the number of sets or how heavy you lifted. He was meticulous about form, making sure each movement hit the muscle just right. His philosophy was clear: you can train hard, but if you don't train right, you'll never reach your full potential. That mindset kept his body balanced and injury-free, even after decades of intense lifting. The result spoke for itself. Bill Grant displayed a symmetrical, defined, and aesthetic physique, the perfect blend of power and proportion. More than just muscle, he built a legacy of wisdom and discipline that continues to inspire athletes today. And if there's one secret every great bodybuilder shares, it's this: everything starts at the table. Bill knew that better than anyone. From the very beginning, he understood that the body is shaped not only in the gym, but, more importantly, in the kitchen. His diet was meticulously planned: about 60% protein, 30% carbs, and 10% fats. Nothing was random. Every meal had a purpose: to feed the muscle, sustain energy, and support recovery after those brutal workouts. He typically ate 4 to 5 meals a day, sticking to natural, easy-to-digest foods. Protein was the cornerstone: eggs, chicken breast, turkey, yogurt, milk, and low-fat cottage cheese. His carbs came from fiber-rich sources like brown rice, sweet potatoes, oats, whole-grain pasta, beans, and peas, which helped balance his metabolism. And he always loaded up on vegetables: broccoli, spinach, zucchini, asparagus, cauliflower, bell peppers, and mushrooms. Simple ingredients that, as he said, fueled strength, vitality, and longevity. But what really set Bill apart was his philosophy of balance. Even though he was strict with his diet, he believed a healthy lifestyle shouldn't feel like a prison. His most famous quote said it all: "Friday night is pizza night." For him, the key was moderation, knowing when to relax and enjoy a meal without guilt. That balance between discipline and pleasure was what made his lifestyle sustainable, even after decades of dedication to bodybuilding. During his competition prep phase, Bill followed an extremely precise and functional diet. His routine looked like this: oatmeal, yogurt, creatine, and amino acids for breakfast, a protein shake as a mid-morning snack, rice, beans, and eggs for lunch, filet mignon with sweet potatoes for dinner, and another protein shake before bed. Nothing fancy, just real, efficient nutrition designed for results. Bill was also one of the first athletes to talk openly about the importance of food quality. He believed that over the years, soil had become depleted and food less pure, which is why he used supplements to fill nutritional gaps. Still, he always insisted that real food should be the foundation, and that supplements were just that: supplements, never replacements. Every great athlete starts with inspiration, and for Bill Grant, those inspirations had names and faces. As a teenager, he would flip through bodybuilding magazines, dreaming of becoming like his heroes. Among them all, Reg Park stood out as the ultimate role model. Reg wasn't just a champion. He was the mentor Bill never had. His balanced physique, charismatic presence, and humble demeanor made him a true example to follow. To Bill, Park represented the ideal bodybuilder, someone who used strength not to dominate, but to inspire. And that's exactly the kind of strength Bill tried to carry through every stage of his own journey. Fate, however, had something even more memorable in store. In 1975, during the legendary filming of Pumping Iron in South Africa, Bill finally met his lifelong idol. Reg Park not only welcomed him with open arms, but invited him to stay in his home, treating him like part of the family. In the middle of the apartheid era, a time of deep racial division, that gesture of friendship and respect carried extraordinary meaning. For Bill, it was a lesson in humanity and brotherhood that went far beyond the sport itself. During that stay, he also met Reg's son, John Park, who became a close friend for decades. Bill fondly remembered those days of training together, talking about life, and simply sharing meals. He used to say that Reg wasn't just a champion on stage, he was a champion in how he treated people. That experience reinforced Bill's belief that a true athlete's legacy lies in how he inspires and uplifts others. In many interviews, Bill recalled that encounter with deep emotion. He said that whenever he and Reg walked into restaurants together, he could feel people staring. Seeing a black man being treated as an equal during apartheid was rare. But Reg made it clear that greatness isn't defined by the color of your skin, but by the strength of your character. That moment left a permanent mark on Bill's heart, and he carried that lesson for the rest of his life. From that point on, bodybuilding became more than just competition for him. It turned into a way to connect, respect, and unite people from different backgrounds. Bill came to understand that being a champion goes far beyond trophies. It's about using your strength to inspire, to help, and to bring humanity into the world around you. Bill Grant's success wasn't confined to the bodybuilding stage. He turned his story into a platform of inspiration for millions. Over time, his name reached far beyond the gym, making its way to television, radio, and even the big screen. He became a true ambassador for the healthy lifestyle, proving that bodybuilding was more than muscles. It was about discipline, health, and a positive mindset. One of the biggest milestones of his career outside competition was creating the show Fit for Life, broadcast on Comcast TV and WVDM radio. The show reached more than 1.5 million listeners every month, offering nutrition tips, workout advice, and motivational content for anyone striving for a better life. Bill didn't just speak as an athlete. He spoke as someone who had lived through the struggles and triumphs of transforming his own body and mind. His energetic, enthusiastic voice inspired people of all ages to believe it's never too late to change. And his media presence didn't stop there. Bill appeared in iconic films and shows, including the classic documentary Pumping Iron alongside Arnold Schwarzenegger, Hustler of Muscle Beach, and ABC's Friday Night Movie of the Week. He also starred in commercials for major brands like McDonald's, Toyota, Bally's, and Jack LaLanne, proving that his image embodied vitality and credibility. Wherever he appeared, Bill carried the same message: strength and health are achievements anyone can reach. Bill's popularity eventually led him to major TV networks like CNN, ESPN, CBS, ABC, and Fox News, where he was frequently invited as an expert on health, fitness, and longevity. Over time, he combined his hands-on experience with an entrepreneurial mindset to launch Bill Grant Nutrition, a supplement company focused on performance and well-being. The relaunch of his iconic creatine cocktail marked the return of a classic from the 1980s, now upgraded and adapted for a new generation of athletes. Through this, Bill Grant achieved something rare. He turned his personal journey into a lifelong brand. From athlete to communicator, from champion to businessman, he proved that a true legacy isn't the body you build, it's the impact you leave on people's lives. Throughout his life, Bill Grant believed bodybuilding went far beyond the stage. For him, taking care of the body was just the first step. The real goal was to inspire and help others. Recognized as one of the leading voices in health and fitness, Bill spent decades promoting an active, balanced, and accessible lifestyle for everyone. His work outside the gym became a legacy of its own. Bill took part in numerous charity projects and foundations, using his fame to support causes that truly mattered. Among the organizations he championed were the YMCA Kids Care Club, which encourages sports among underprivileged youth, the Newark YMCA Sports Legends, honoring local athletes, the Parkinson's Unity Walk, raising awareness about Parkinson's disease, and the Allen T. Brown Foundation, which helps people with spinal cord injuries. Bill used his visibility to motivate and uplift others, showing that physical strength only has real value when it's used for a positive purpose. Bill saw bodybuilding as a bridge between the body and the community. He believed that when someone improves their own health, they naturally inspire those around them. This philosophy guided him through countless talks, events, and social projects, where he encouraged young people to trade harmful habits for healthy choices. His message was always the same. Taking care of yourself is the first act of respect for life. And his work didn't go unnoticed. In 2005, Bill received two of the most prestigious honors in the fitness world, the Lifetime Achievement Award from Bodybuilding.com, recognizing his ongoing contribution to the sport, and the Muscle Beach Hall of Fame Award from Iron Man magazine. These awards celebrated not only his victories on stage, but also his lifelong dedication to keeping the spirit of bodybuilding alive and accessible to new generations. Even long after his competition days, Bill remained a reference point for athletes and fans alike. He became a symbol of athletic longevity, proving that true success isn't measured by trophies, but by how long you can keep inspiring others. But not everything in Bill's life was triumph and glory. Behind the powerful physique and the man of steel image, he faced one of the most difficult and revealing chapters of his life. In 2010, he was struck by a severe case of diverticulitis, a painful intestinal inflammation that brought excruciating pain, vomiting, and constant diarrhea. For nearly 2 years, his life was disrupted by hospital stays and medical procedures. The body he had built with so much discipline seemed to be falling apart, and for the first time, Bill had to fight not for a title, but for his life. The toll was devastating. Bill lost more than 40 pounds, about 18 kilograms, and became so weak that he needed nurses to help with simple daily tasks like bathing and preparing food. It was a crushing blow for someone who had always taken pride in his independence and strength. Yet even on the darkest days, he held onto a spark of hope, believing that the same discipline and resilience that built his body could also help him heal. The turning point came when doctors told him he needed emergency surgery to remove part of his intestine. The operation was risky and left him with an 18-stitch scar running from his chest to his abdomen, a permanent reminder of the battle he had fought within. According to his doctors, Bill survived only because of the incredible condition he had maintained throughout his life. Bodybuilding, often dismissed as mere vanity, had, quite literally, saved his life. Recovery was slow, but fueled by an unbreakable will to start over. As soon as his body allowed, Bill went back to the gym, not to compete, but to heal. With every workout, he regained a bit of his strength, his weight, and most importantly, his sense of self. Within a few months, he had regained all the weight he'd lost, and, surprisingly, said he felt better than before the illness. The experience had completely changed the way he viewed his body and the purpose of training. From that rebirth onward, Bill began to preach a new philosophy, training not just for looks, but for health and longevity. He started teaching that bodybuilding should be seen as a tool for prevention and well-being, not as a quest for aesthetic perfection. The goal isn't to be the biggest, he used to say. It's to be the healthiest. The diverticulitis episode wasn't the end of Bill Grant's story. It was a new beginning. He turned pain into purpose and weakness into strength, proving that the real man of steel isn't the one who never breaks, but the one who rebuilds himself with even greater determination. After a lifetime dedicated to strength and perseverance, Bill Grant came to see bodybuilding through a different lens. For him, lifting weights was never just about appearance. It was a way of life, a form of preventive medicine that heals the body and strengthens the mind. His message is simple but powerful. Physical strength is only the reflection of inner strength. Bill believes that a healthy body supports a peaceful mind and a confident spirit. That's why he constantly emphasizes balance, because he knows there's no point in lifting tons of weight if, deep down, you're exhausted, stressed, and joyless. With the wisdom of someone who's lived through highs and lows, Bill doesn't shy away from criticizing the dangerous shortcuts some people take in search of fast results. He's a tireless advocate for natural, disciplined, and mindful training, believing that true greatness comes from consistency, not from shortcuts. Even after more than 5 decades in the game, Bill remains active as a personal trainer, speaker, and fitness influencer. With charisma and insight, he continues to inspire new generations of athletes and enthusiasts to live with purpose, discipline, and passion. And among the many inspiring quotes he shared over the years, one has become his personal mantra. It's not about how much you can lift. It's about how much your life improves when you do. If this story inspired you, then now it's your turn to take action. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. It really helps us keep bringing you incredible stories like this one. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos about the legends who shaped the world of bodybuilding. Want to support the channel even more? Consider becoming a member and joining our exclusive community. And of course, we want to hear from you. Which part of Bill Grant's story inspired you the most? Tell us in the comments below. Oh, and before you go, don't miss the video showing right here on your screen. There, you'll meet another giant from the golden era who, just like Bill, turned iron into inspiration. See you there.